Alright, how's it going, guys? It's me, Zip Zap Zoppy. This is probably gonna be a brand new series. It's probably gonna be about me and my VGC teams over the years. I never actually competed. I mostly stayed on like Pokemon Showdown for the most part, but if I did compete, these would probably be the teams. I'm going majority based off of my memory and whatnot. So yeah, let's just get into it. Old teams that I had and their ideas. Hello, 2014 me. And hello, my least favorite fucking piece of shit child who they completely butchered. Alright, 2014 team. We had Chestnut, Scrafty, Aegislash, Mega Blastoise, Articuno, and Talonflame. Now, this team was a bulky control team focused on Intimidate, Fake Out, Tailwind, Icy Wind, and defensive stalling to disrupt the opponent. Then you would bring in something like Blastoise or Aegislash or Talonflame to eventually clean up the battlefield and secure wind. The main reason why I most likely scrapped it was because it was too passive and it was too matchup dependent. It relied heavily on defensive plays and speed control, and it lacked like consistent offensive pressure. Another thing is like it struggled against fairy types and Trick Room. Now, back in 2014, Trick Room wasn't a thing. It was mostly like Tailwind. Like Porygon 2 didn't come into play until like 2017 VGC. When a lot of like there was a lot of, I guess that was the era when Sun and Moon came out. That was the era where like you had really slow Pokemon and you had really fast Pokemon, whereas in X and Y they all hovered around the same speed. So it was mostly just like Tailwind. But like if we were to go back, like let's say we traveled back to 2014, like if everyone who competed traveled back to 2014, I think there'd be way more Porygon 2s. I also had a lot of questionable moves like Rapid Spin on Blastoise, and I also rocked 4 ice moves on Articuno. Hello 2014 me. Alright, so this is the team, right? Chestnut, Scrafty, Blastoise, Articuno, Aegislash, Talonflame. Now, Chestnut was bulky. Scrafty had no speed, right? Because he didn't really need it. So you went max HP, max attack. Blastoise was bulky. Articuno was built to survive most things. I also gave it Choice Scarf because if they didn't have enough speed EVs on Talonflame, I would actually outspeed it. Regardless, like, Gale Wings gets set up, or Gale Wings Tailwind gets set up regardless, but Articuno would always move second. So I thought I was being really smart there because I was running like Blizzard, Ice Beam. I ran Freeze Dry and Icy Wind for like extra speed control. Because again, reminder, Trick Room didn't come in effect till like 2017. I ran Weakness Policy Aegislash, and I ran like a standard Talonflame set with Life Orb. I actually ran Special Attack Aegislash to deal with like Gardevoirs and whatnot. Hello again, 2014 me. Alright, let's get into it. Chestnut. With Chestnut, I ran Leftovers, Seed Bomb, Quick Guard, Spiky Shield, and Leech Seed. This set maximizes Chestnut's natural bulk, and the EVs allow it to eat up a Moonblast from Timid Scarfed Gardevoir. And he could survive Azumarill. He could survive a Azumarill Play Rough Quick Guard allowed it to be more defensive against Talonflame. So one strategy that I would run is like, because majority of people would run Talonflame. So what I did is I would bait out the Brave Bird by running Articuno Chestnut. I would bait out the Brave Bird by running Quick Guard, which would block. It would block Talonflame's Brave Bird, and then Icy Wind would come out, and then Talonflame would be slower than my Articuno, and I was also Choice Scarfed. So my Articuno was like faster than majority of Pokemon, and I would just spam the fuck out of Choice Scarf, and then I would like swap out Chestnut for like Scrafty or something. I would fake out a Pokemon, swap out Articuno for like Blastoise, and then I'd be in a better position. Spiky Shield allows you to play like Quick Guard, and Spiky Shield allows you to play mind games. Leech Seed is always good to regain extra HP per turn. And Leftovers is really nice because again it's a bulky Chestnut. Hello again, 2014 me. Scrafty. Now, the EV investments are pretty straightforward. Scrafty's fairly slow, so investing into any speed won't do anything. He's just really slow. Most EVs go into Scrafty's HP and attack. However, there's 12 EVs into its defense to just allow it to survive. It's like a very niche threshold in which he can survive, like, fighting type moves. Like, for example, Brave Bird, Max Attack, Choice Band, Talonflame after Intimidate. So, you could also run the Brave Nature if you want to run, like, a Trick Room orientated team. But again, like, no one was running Trick Room in 2014. I think there was, like, a small handful of people, but I digress. Adamant Nature was always good. I ran Crunch for flinch chances. Detect was always good. If you could also run Assault Vest Scrafty, but you give up Detect. So if you didn't want to use Detect, you could run Ice Punch into like Garchomps and Hydreigons and whatnot. So that was always an option, but I ran Lumberry in case I got burned or I got put to sleep or I got confused or like paralyzed or anything like that, because Zapdos was actually prominent. I think there are a few handful of times where like there'd be a Zapdos that would run static instead of pressure, and it caught me off guard, and I really hated being paralyzed. Like, don't get me wrong, like I was already slow, but the chance of being paralyzed was like demoralizing. So I ran Lumberry instead. Hello again, 2014 me. Continuing on, we have Blastoise. This was my one and only Mega that I used. This set allows Blastoise to take a wide variety of frail attackers down, along with a couple of walls. Instead of Ice Beam, you could run Dragon Pulse or Aura Sphere. But I decided to run Ice Beam because of Garchomps, and I didn't need like Aura Sphere or Dragon Pulse because I was running Scald. So like if Tyranitar switches in, I would just Scald it and then cut its attack in half because of Burn. And I used to run Protect instead of Rapid Spin. And the main reason why I switched to Rapid Spin is because my friend, this was back in like 3rd, 4th grade, my friend would run like this cancer cringe like Stealth Rocks on Tyranitar. He would run like Stealth Rocks Crustle and Spike Skymori. And so it would just like completely ransack my whole entire team. It was so cringe. It was so bad. It was probably like the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. So I ran Rapid Spin because I had a feeling I would come across that on You know, back in like 2014 VGC. No one ran it, not that I know of, but on Pokemon Showdown doubles, again, there's probably like a handful of people that ran that, so I just kept Rapid Spin. 72 speed allows it to outspeed Machamp, Gligar, and defensive Suicune. Suicune didn't show up at all, because again, this is 2014, but at the same time, I was also playing on OU Showdown, and I kept running into Suicune problems, because I'm pretty sure it learned Freeze Dry, and it was always super defensive, so I wanted to outspeed it and throw, like, Dark Pulses at it. An alternative speed benchmark would be 242, which could be used to outspeed Honchkrow, and then you would put the remaining points into, like, special attack. Hello again, 2014 me. Alright, Articuno. Now, Articuno, this was another thing where I ran 196 special attack plus modest investment to give it respectable damage, while the 252 HP makes it less fragile. I gave a Choice Scarf to compensate for Articuno's mediocre natural speed, and it outspeeds majority of Pokemon back then, so Icy Wind was really good, especially into like Zapdos, because I think the biggest problem that I kept running into was Zapdos because of his like really good typing, and his move pool also, like, countered my whole team. So I'd run Articuno into, like, Zapdos teams. Zero attack IV to minimize foul play damage, and, like, in case someone's running, like, a confusion move. But, like... Sorry, excuse me. But, like, in some instances, like, I would click Blizzard. Some instances I would click Ice Beam, like if they're running like a bulky water type, I would click Freeze Dry and just pray. Like Politoed, for example. Hello again, 2014 me. So, Aegislash. Weakness policy, I ran max HP, max special attack, quiet nature with +0 speed IVs. And this was designed to be a bulky slow attacker. And the whole idea is that, like, you would lead Aegislash, they would hit you for, like, super effective damage. You would live, because your stance changed. You would live, and you would always go last. So what would happen is you would live, weakness policy would come up, you would, like, let's say you lived on half, you would substitute, and then sorry, and then from there you would like fire off like Shadow Ball or Flash Cannon, and then you would King Shield, because King Shield was like protect, so you would King Shield, and then you would just like rinse and repeat constantly. So he was just a hard hitter. Hello again, 2014 me. And then Talonflame Life Orb. This was max attack adamant to maximize Brave Bird and Flare Blitz damage. 84 HP gave it a little bit of extra bulk. And I gave it 172 to target like specific speed benchmarks rather than like completely maximizing it. I think this outspeeds like Kangaskhan or something. I think 172. I know it already like outspeeds Kangaskhan, but I think I gave it 172 to outspeed like majority Pokemon. Life Orb boosts its damage without locking it into one single move. So like again, like some people would run Gale Wings, Choice Band, Brave Bird, and just fuck you over. So instead, I wanted to do like a Tailwind, Brave Bird, Protect. So it was really good. Hello again, 2014 me. So, the main leads that you'll run. You have Scrafty, Talonflame, Blastoise, Aegislash. This was your main four. and you would just switch between these guys. So like sometimes you go Scrafty Talonflame, set up Tailwind, weaken down the opponent, switch in Blastoise, Aegislash, clean up. Sometimes you go Scrafty Blastoise if they didn't have like solid speed control. So you'd fake out Mega Evolve Blastoise into like whatever move you needed. Talonflame was in the back to support Aegislash, or if you need to switch out Scrafty, you could go Aegislash, or if you need to swap out Blastoise, you go Talonflame or Aegislash. Hello again, 2014 me. And again, like Aegislash, Talonflame, Scrafty, Blastoise, yeah. And you go back. And then this was like my off meta that I would run. So it'd be Scrafty, Chestnut, Articuno, Blastoise. And this was into matchups where it's like, if these, hello again, 2014 me, if like Scrafty, Talonflame, Blastoise, Aegislash wasn't a good matchup, you would just run Scrafty, Chestnut, Articuno, Blastoise instead. And the whole idea was like, you were supposed to catch your opponent off guard, and because of that, they had to like readjust mid-fight while you already had the plan in your head. So, matchups. The team performs well against physical teams like Mega Kangaskhan and Garchomp thanks to Scrafty Intimidate and Chestnut's Bulk. It also handles fast teams with Talonflame's Tailwind and Articuno's Icy Wind, while Ice coverage helps against threats like Garchomp and Salamence. Bad matchups, Gardevoir and Azumarill. Fairy types in general, just because Scrafty's weak to them and Chestnut can't really handle them. Trick Room teams, again, you should never run into Trick Room teams, but on the off chance that you do struggle against them. Which is why you have like Scrafty and Chestnut. So like going back, like, let's say they did have Porygon, you would just fake out into, like a Drain Punch, or you would Leech Seed the Porygon and force them to switch out next turn, because otherwise Chestnut, like, gets too big too fast. Electric types, like Zapdos, threaten Blastoise and Talonflame, and strong rock type attackers such as Tyranitar also heavily threaten Talonflame and Articuno. So, TLDR. The main idea for this team was like a bulky disruptive team that used Intimidate, Fake Out, Tailwind, Icy Wind. It had a lot of defensive moves to control the battle before letting Mega Blastoise and Weakness Policy Aegislash do damage. The strengths was that you had an unpredictable back, because sometimes you would just lead the main four, and other times you would lead like Blastoise, Scrafty, Chestnut, Articuno, Blastoise, and you would catch them off guard. The weaknesses is it's very matchup dependent, struggles with fairy types, Trick Room, electric rock attacks, and strong special attackers as well. The team wasn't meant for like specially bulky Pokemon. Articuno and Chestnut can also be inconsistent, which is why they're like at the very bottom of leads. The main reason why you should use it, it's unusual and could catch your opponents off guard. The reason why I scrapped it was too passive for matchup dependent. It was too passive and matchup dependent for a 2014 metagame. Hello again, 2014 me. Well, I think that's all though. So say goodbye, 2014 me. Bye. Say goodbye. Bye bye.